Hello, hello. Question is this an angle I want to do? Who knows? Audio? We do have audio. Good. The child is rather noisy. That's okay, because this mic is directional, and you can hear me over them, even though I'm barely talking. How about that? Got a cute little puppy dog just sitting across from me. It's a dog. What do you want? Finish this one guy, dude. When I have finished, my little man, I will pay attention to you. Okay. Puppies first. The gene stealer has to wait. All right, we are back again. So, me and my gaming compadres have been furiously texting back and forth and getting hyped for a near future dive into the Horus Heresy. This has me thinking about like different rule sets in the game and attitudes that surround it. When it comes to wargaming, one of the attitudes I've encountered when it comes to playing is an anti-competitive sentiment. Now, I've only been actively into the hobby for the past 3 years, so I can't speak experientially to this shift, but I've heard that 40K made a shift in 9th edition away from some of the more like crunchy thematic narrative elements of playing and like army building, and an emphasis was put more on like competitive play. Opposed to building up and taking like a thematic, flavorful army, it became more about like min-maxing and meta chasing and having whatever new powerful hotness is out now. This, of course, it's a great way to sell models, and maybe in some ways it might make things more like potentially more accessible. Rather than focusing on all that fluffy stuff that might be overwhelming to somebody or turn somebody away that's like kind of like apathetic to the universe because they're unfamiliar with it. You're just focusing on what you need to be able to win and have a fighting chance. And, I suppose at the end of the day, that is a fine and fair sentiment. That is what you're into. With this shift, though, towards competitive style of play, a lot of the things that made the game important and fun to a lot of people have been stripped away. Now, I don't have a huge community of folks that I play with, but all the folks I know tend to be on the side of the crunch and the old school sentiment of fluff over competition. Me not being a very competitive person also tend to lean in that direction. While I enjoy playing and trying to give my opponent a good go, my main draw to this hobby, besides the tactile hobbying part, is the imaginative quality. Looking at a table of fantastical armies and crashing together in glorious combat in the far future, or the fantastical, like distant past. While I can't change how a massive company is choosing to put out rules or the style of rules, I can choose how I play. And so can you. I think that's one of the most like overlooked realities in all of this like negative talk and bashing of, oh, it's not like this edition or that edition. It's awful now. Like you can either play the game or not, and if you don't like the game, you could always just fluff it up and make your own game. Make some homebrew rules to make it what you want, or if you just play the older edition, that's fine too, And then if none of it's doing it for you, go to one-page rules, and you can literally do just about anything you want in that rule set, and it's wonderful, and it's free, and it's online, and you can download it. At the end of the day, while a big company that's out of your control, is dictating ways of playing, through their new products or seasons. They are not dictating how you play. That is entirely up to you. So I think it's better to just invest your energy into doing some fun shit that you love and will provide you with the gaming or role-playing experience that you want. It's a much better use of your brain than giving into like the shitstorm of hate or discontentment. When I got into the hobby at first, I did just that. The amount of numbers and stats and stuff in the rule sets, it was really overwhelming. And because of that, I went full on into playing exclusively one-page rules. I still used and bought mostly Games Workshop stuff, and I got 3D printed stuff from my buddy, but I would exclusively use a different rule set, the one-page rules. I still got to enjoy the GW stuff, but I just played a different rule. All that matters for me is that it gave me the fun of building up a force and throwing down in an epic sci-fi or fantasy battle. As time has progressed, my understanding of the flow of tabletop games has become more clear, and 40k proper became less overwhelming, and I'm starting to enjoy it now. I've only played one partial game, and it was a lot of fun, but I get the flow of it, and so yeah, not so overwhelming. I think ultimately the moral I'm getting at as I think about this is that you can't control everything, and that's okay. You're not entitled to that, to be frank. None of us are. You can control how you play and react to things, though. So when feeling dismayed at rules or a company, just remember that there's always other options. And if the option somehow doesn't exist, maybe you are the person to fill the gap. And just crank out your juicy, righteous idea that makes all well, or at least in your universe. It might be a challenge, but it will be more worthwhile than focusing on what isn't. So go forth, play games the way you want. Don't let companies or threads of negativity dictate your experiences. Have fun with your pals and have a good time. Give things a chance, make new things. Be productive with your hobbying. It's a hobby at the end of the day, not a worldview. It's not so serious, just have fun. I have been having a lot of fun this week. As I mentioned, the Horus Heresy has been on the mind a good bit. I'm going to be starting a Death Guard army, which I'm super pumped about. I have a 40k Death Guard army, and I thought it was only appropriate to have a 30k Origins represented in my collection and on the tabletop. My current, mental list is going to be, I'm going to have a Land Raider. I want to have a bunch of Tactical Marines, 3 Contemptors. One's going to have an autocannon, and 2 of them are going to have Meltas. And then heavy weapon squads. I'm thinking squads of 2 squads, 7 to 10. One I want to be Meltas, and one I want to be las cannons, heavy las cannons. And same with the Meltas, I want those heavy as well. I'll probably have a command squad or 2, and then some Terminators of some kind. Likely Death Shroud, just to have some faction-specific flavor, but we'll see. Very excited for the Heresy. I'm doing this with 2 other buddies who are head over heels for the era, so I'm going to be in good company as I make my dive into it. I'm also excited for back to the idea of rules and differences. I'm excited about the different elements and mechanics in this game, like initiative and action, reaction, the ability to have both sides fight and resolve before removing models. I don't know, has a more, realistic, sensical outcome method, I guess. Very excited. Besides getting all horned up on Heresy, I finished my Gene Stealers this week, and as expected, they came out great. I gave them the same treatment that I gave to the Broodlord, using the enamel ink wash, and it's so good. My slap chop looks pretty good on its own, but this just gives a richness and a depth and this sheen that gives that carapace and the skin, just a slick, slimy alien look, and I love it. It looks so good. Very excited about that. I can't wait to get this crew on the table and just kamikaze into my opponent's front line. I'm either gonna obliterate something or end up as a big old bug splat, but either way, it's gonna be a good time, and I am so excited. And in terms of my Tyranid force in general, I'm only 13 models away from finishing the whole thing for right now. I'm gonna call it at 2,135 points. I just have a Nero, my squad of Nero gods. I have a Nero Lictor and the Horus specs, and then I will be done. So once again, 2135. It's a boatload of bugs. So easily the biggest army I've done. I think it looks great, and I am very proud of it. And I'm also excited to be done with it for now, because heresy. But that has been it for me this week. What do you think about the Horus Heresy? When it comes to rules, what is your leaning? Are you, maybe you're more on the competitive side of things over the crunch and fluff? You know, or maybe you are like me and my group. You like the fun and thematic narrative stuff. So, I don't know. Let me know down in the comments. If you like this video, give it a like. If you want to follow along, see my Horus Heresy journey, and also see my finished Tyranid army showcase, be sure to subscribe. But I think that is it for now. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Goodbye. Today is October 21, 2024. Here are 7 dice. Today's numbers are: on the D20, 11. On the D12, 3. On the D10, 4. On the percentage die, 60. On the D8, 4. On the D6, 4. And on the D4, 2. Those are today's numbers.